Today has been a poop show. Yesterday has been a poop show. And I've been crying like every day for the last week. So right now we have 4 rentals, right? And then we have the house that we live in. 2 of them were Airbnbs and 2 of them were long-term. One of our long-term leases ended at the end of November. The other one renewed, but then decided to buy a house through me. So they asked if they could cancel their lease in November. And I said yes, because I wanted to help them buy a house. And then we had our 2 Airbnbs that we hated doing Airbnb with. So we also wanted to turn them into long-term rentals. We have been trying to get leases signed for these 4 rentals starting December 1st, which we successfully did. But on the 30th, the long-term tenants were supposed to be turning in their keys. And when I went into one of them, I paid a cleaner to clean and she did a terrible job. And I had to ask her to come back. She didn't even clean the bathroom. I paid her for a move-out clean. And she didn't clean the appliances or the inside of the kitchen cabinets. And she said it was because I didn't ask her to. What do you think a move-out clean is? And even when she went back the second time, it still wasn't that good. And also the house smelled weird. The house did smell weird. So I bought an air purifier and it's going full blast. And then also we had a handyman go to that house to do some flooring work and change the ceiling fan and stuff. Usually when you hire a handyman, they like haul the junk with them that they caused from the repair. He left all of it on the front porch. And I'm like, dude, the people are moving in like tonight. So we had to get that figured out. And then we go over to the other long-term rental. At first, everything is fine. We had a list for the handyman. The painter was painting, but I'm walking around in the kitchen and all of a sudden I hear a watery squish on the floor. And I look down and there's water coming out from under the vinyl plank flooring. So I call a plumber to come out and long story short, the washer drain pipe had a crack in it and it was leaking water all the way through the kitchen and now all the floor has to get ripped up. And so then we had to call a restoration company to come out and take the flooring out and air out the space so that there's not mold. And then I had to get a handyman, which our handyman who was going to come out and do all our handyman work there canceled because he had a neck thing, like his neck was hurting him. So I had to find somebody else who could fit us in this week to fix the flooring and the dry hole walls and everything like that. But I finally got everything scheduled. The pressure washer guy was scheduled. Everything was scheduled because the person moving into that is supposed to move in at the end of this week. Well, today, this morning, my sweet husband calls me at 9:30. He never calls me during the day because he's really busy at work. So I knew something was wrong. So the first thing I say is everything okay? Because if he's calling me, it's not okay. The Airbnb guest, so remember how I said there's somebody who signed a lease for the 2 Airbnbs? Okay, one of them has already moved in. The other one doesn't move in until the beginning of January, so it's still an Airbnb. Well, this guest booked this Airbnb. It's a woman. And she said that her coworker would be there with her as well. Looking at the cameras, I have not seen her sleep there. She's not sleeping there. She's like picking him up and dropping him off. He has no car. And that's not allowed, by the way. If you book an Airbnb, you have to stay there for the duration. You can't book the Airbnb for somebody else. My husband calls me and he's like, the Airbnb guy is saying that the water isn't draining in the sink and the water heater it's not getting hot and there's a dead mouse in the sink. A dead mouse in the sink. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because the guy had my husband's personal phone number because when he was checking in, he couldn't get the lock to work. And I'm like, this is the code. It's correct. This is user error. So I gave the lady who booked my husband's number so that my husband could verbally walk them through how to open the lock. It's just a regular lockbox. I don't know what the issue was. But so that's how the guy had my husband's personal number. But all communication is supposed to be through Airbnb. So when this guy is texting my husband and calling him all of these things, I'm like, no. The lady who booked has to communicate all of this stuff through Airbnb. It has to be documented on the Airbnb platform. He sent my husband a video and there's dirty dishes everywhere. Both sides of the sink are like full of food and a dead mouse. A mouse went into his dirty food water and drowned. And now I have to go fish a dead mouse out of the sink. Oh my God. So I had to call a plumber to come today to fix the sink. And I'm like, this has never happened. There's never been drain issues, never water heater issues. This man has been cooking in that kitchen. And I guarantee you, he put food down the sink and it got clogged. Because there's not a garbage disposal and the rules specifically say scrape all of your food in the trash and then you have to hand wash your dishes. There's not a dishwasher. He can't hand wash the dishes because he put all this food in the sink and now it's clogged and there's a dead mouse in there. I'm like, how long has that nasty food water been sitting there for a mouse to enter the home and get in the thing? And I've never seen mouse droppings over there. Nobody has ever said anything about any presence of a mouse in the last 4 months. So I'm like, where did this mouse come from? Do you want to know how much it costs to fix the leak and the restoration at the long-term rental from the floor in the kitchen? $10,000. Luckily, I filed an insurance claim and my deductible is still $2,500 and they won't cover the actual repair. They only cover the damage. So I still will have to pay probably $5,000. But now I have to take care of this, and a guest is supposed to check in tomorrow, and I'm going to have to bring all the dirty dishes home and wash them in our dishwasher so that there can be clean dishes there tomorrow because he dirtied all the dishes.